What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to a new video. This is one I've wanted to do for a while. I've got a lot of questions about it in the past few months, and so this is going to be how to survive solo on the official servers of ARK. I've been playing solo for the past couple of years. It's kind of like a challenge that I really enjoy, to be able to just do everything on your own, and it's just kind of a unique way to play the game. So we're going to get into that and have several steps that I think will help you out as you play ARK, as well as ARK Survival Ascended when it comes out, to survive solo and kind of keep your base up. So let's get into this. Okay, so the first one is going to be, as you start playing, you're going to need a hidden base. And there's a lot of different ways to do this. One of my favorites is this Sky Quetzal method. I know that a lot of people go hunting for Sky Quetzals now, but it's still really good. You can move your Quetzal anywhere around, and you can fit all sorts of structures on the Quetzal, put it anywhere in the sky. So it's a decent place to start out if you're okay with taming a Quetzal and kind of taking that risk that your stuff might be found in the sky. Good place. Okay, so this is going to go along with that, a hidden base location for starting out. This is like an example of that. It's not like I have a perfect spot for starting out, but this is a good example. The Blizzard Zone on Genesis 1, nobody hardly ever goes over here because it's kind of terrible to be in, but they're not really going to scout in this spot either, which makes it a pretty good spot. Come out here to the world border, throw some foundations down with some beds, enclose it so no dinos destroy it, and it's actually a pretty decent spot, I feel like. This is, I built here a couple times on official. No one's ever found my starter bases. I don't really think it gets scouted that much, but once again, just an example. The best place you're going to find is one you find yourself. Okay, another one, the raft. Classic. I've been building on rafts since ARK. I started playing ARK like 5-6 years ago. I've been playing this game way too long, but pretty decent place to build. And the reasoning behind this is it's like a movable base, just like the Quetzal, and oceans take up a large percentage of the maps on ARK. So you can kind of just think about where you want to put your base. You can also glitch it through the mesh, which I know a lot of people are like, that's stupid, don't do that. But, you know, it's part of the game. If you want to do that, do whatever you want to do. You can put your structures into the mesh there so they're not really accessible for anyone to steal. You do risk them blowing up your raft and you lose everything, but pretty decent place for a starter base if you can find a hidden base spot for the raft. You're able to like move it around and easily get resources, which is kind of nice, especially on maps like this, which is Ragnarok. The ocean takes up such a large percentage of the map. You can pretty much go anywhere, even inland. You can go up here to the canyons, places like that. So just keep that in mind as you are looking for a hidden base location, either like on the edge of the map, a Quetzal, a raft, something that fits into that category. Here is the last example I'm going to use. I lived here on Small Tribes for a few months. It's obviously not really much of a base, but I was just over here in the swamp, threw some foundations down, and put a smithy down, a fabricator, threw a few vaults for my gear, and you know, that worked out well for me. If I didn't really want to play that much, like maybe just a couple times a week, that was like a decent option. So just keep an open mind. Maybe go into single player, look around, and find yourself a hidden base spot. That is going to be pretty important in starting off. Okay, so the next one is going to be to raid early. And I know this might seem like counterintuitive, but if you are living in a hidden base spot, you're going to want to raid early for gear and for dinos. It's going to help you out a lot. So if you spend time like taming a stego instead of building up defenses, I'm betting that you can get your hands on some gear pretty easily. People that spend a lot of time on base defenses, it really is pretty OP to raid instead of farm early game. Like this, if you look at the stego I'm on right here, it's a tame stego. It has a lot of HP because I gave it a lot of XP, but it's using a prim saddle. And these are 4 normal turrets that I'm soaking, which is like a decent amount for the first few hours of the wipe. So get to taming soakers and being able to raid quickly. Even on 5 times speed here, you can see that it's still tanking pretty good. Tame stego with a prim saddle, no imprint and everything. So just keep that in mind. I would really suggest to raid early and fast. it's going to give you gear, and you're going to make more profit from that than just from farming everything yourself. Okay, so the next one is when you actually pick a base location. So you move from your starter base, you've kind of prefabbed a base up, pick a spot that is annoying to raid. This is the reason you're going to see me on Aberrations so often. There's so many annoying spots like this where you can't fly. You kind of need to like find a weird way to get up to the base spots. Pretty good base spots on Ab, so find an annoying spot to raid. Another example of this is like crouch caves. That's why a lot of big tribes use them, is if you can put like dinos in here or something, an annoying spot to raid is really going to deter a lot of people and kind of buy you time if they're trying to raid you, for you to get on and defend, and before they get into your base and kind of get to your defenses. So another reason I love Aberration is the radiation zone. It is another big part of why it's so hard to attack. You can't wear flak here. You either have to wear hazard suits or full tech suits or Federation suits. So not the full tech suits are kind of hard to get, and then the Federation and the hazard have no armor and no durability pretty often. So that's why I really love the radiation zone. In spots like this, I built here on small tribes. This is one of the rat holes that I lived in for a few months. I'm not really sure how long, but it's another really good spot that is annoying to raid, as I like to say. Okay, so the next one is going to be to buy time with defenses. So if you're going to play solo, you're probably going to be offline a lot of the time. So you want it to take as long as possible to raid your base. And there's a bunch of different ways to do this. When I lived in the Glowtail Cave, this is something we do a lot, is just spam the entire entrance with Fed supports. They're pretty cheap, and it's actually going to take people a long time to get rid of them. And you'll know in advance if they're coming to raid you, because you'll start seeing things destroyed in the tribe log. Another good way is to just spam dinos. Put as many dinos as you can outside of your base if it's like in a rat hole, and they'll have to kill those first, and you'll be notified if they kill those dinos. Bear traps are another good answer. As people get more advanced, this stuff's easier to destroy as they have like tech rifles and more C4. But just think of how annoying it would be to raid your base and put those things in, whether that's dinos or structures or bear traps or turrets in weird spots. Just do whatever you can to kind of slow down people as they're going to raid your base. Alright, so the next one we're going to go over is to hide loot. If you're playing solo, there's a good chance you're going to get raided, and you don't want to start from nothing, so hiding loot is a big deal. One of the most common ways that I've seen a lot lately is to hide stuff under foundations, and that might work. A lot of people kind of know about that now, so they're going to just clear your foundations, but sometimes they won't, so be careful about how you use this one. You can hide boxes under foundations like this. It's only going to work sometimes though, so make sure it works in advance. Make sure you turn the foundations to block so they can't see underneath. The box is fully hidden under there. And probably the most popular way that any experienced ARK player is going to use is going to be to upload things. You can do it at an obelisk or a drop or a transmitter to put things into your ARK upload. Nobody can touch them there. They do only have a 24-hour limit before they expire, so make sure to refresh them. But hiding stuff in your upload is pretty important if you want to have some stuff that's untouchable while you're offline on ARK. Okay, so the last one that I really like is to keep your starter base up. So wherever you put this base, as you started off like a hidden base, don't take it down. Some people make the mistake of just demoing the whole thing and just getting rid of it when they move into their main base. If you leave your starter base up, that will allow you a place to come back to if you get wiped. Maybe you saved yourself a couple of dinos in upload. You don't want to have to recraft all of like your smithies, your fabricators, your mortal and pestles. So if you leave your starter base up, that will leave you a place to come back to so you can restart playing. So I know these might have been like a little bit of basic tips, but I think that they're pretty helpful for new players and if you're just kind of wanting to know how to start solo. So hope you guys did enjoy this little tutorial video. We'll have to catch you guys in the next video.